In this video, I'm going to talk about the basic function of speed and duration with both video and still images. So there's a few things this option can do for us. So most of the time, it's used to uniformly speed up or slow down a clip. There are ways to do it ununiformly, so speeding up at the beginning of the clip and then kind of slowing it down. That's a keyframing topic that we will talk about in a future video. So I'm going to go to my first clip here, and I'm just going to play a bit of it just so that you have the context.
All right, Dollface. What gives with the Jersey accent?
Well, it's about my sister. It's about my...
So I feel in general this is moving a little slow. And when I look at my other clips, I feel like in context it looks a little slow. I want to speed it up just a little bit so that the speed and pace matches the rest. So if I select that clip, so I just click on it and then right or control click. And right about in the middle of that menu is speed/duration. So there's a couple ways that we can use this panel. One, we can use a percentage. The other option is to just set it to a time. So if, for example, we knew that this could only take 15 seconds, I could go in here and make this 14 seconds and 29 frames. And I'm always going to make sure I check maintain audio pitch. So maintain audio pitch helps if you speed things up, it stops it, especially dialogue, sounding kind of like the chipmunks. And if you slow it down, it stops it from getting that kind of low, stretched out, bassy feeling. Of course, if that's something you want, then don't check this box. So let's see what that does. So I'm just going to click OK. And it's shortened it. And notice that now there's a gap. So we made it take less time. These clips didn't move. I'll show you how to change that when we go back into the window. So if you look here, now this says, what's your name, says V, and like our other clips, and now it says 120.04%. So it had to speed it up about 20% in order to go from that 17 seconds, 29 frames to the 14 seconds, 29 frames. So let's just watch a little clip of that.
All right, Dollface. What gives with the Jersey accent?
Well, it's about my sister. It's about my twin sister.
So that seems to move at a better pace. I'm happy with it. But then I have this gap here. So yes, I could, of course, right-click in there, and it'll give me the ripple delete option. And it will ripple all that stuff forward. So ripple delete just means it deletes a space and then moves everything upstream to kind of neatly fill that spot. So I'm going to press Command Z and Command Z again to get back to where I started. I can do that all in one step. So again, I'm going to select this first clip, right or control click, and go to speed/duration. So if I were just sort of guessing, I'm going to say 115%, so this will be 15% faster than normal. I want to maintain my audio pitch, and then I can just click this box right here, ripple edit, shifting trailing clips. That's essentially exactly what we just did before by right-clicking in that gap and choosing the ripple delete option. So we can have that all happen all at once. So if you're making any changes to speed in this window, which is essentially what it's for, pretty much always check this box and you'll be set. So I'm going to click OK. So now you can see I don't have to go and do that ripple edit, but I've basically had the same effect, just 5% different. So I'm going to go ahead and press Command Z so we're kind of back to normal. I'm going to go back to speed duration. Let's see what happens if we slow it down. So now I'm going to tell it to go at 85%, so that's 15% slower than normal. I'm going to maintain my audio pitch and keep that ripple edit box checked. So in this case, it pushes things downstream. So it didn't let this clip eat into the time of this next one. Everything stayed nice and intact. So it's a great idea to always have that box checked. So just for comparison's sake, let's watch just a few seconds of this.
All right, Dollface. What gives with the Jersey accent?
Well, it's about my sister. It's about my twin sister.
Well, that about me made me ready for a nap. So I'm going to right click on that. Head back to speed duration. I'm going to put it back to 100%. Leave those two boxes checked. And click OK. We can also use this on stills as well. So let's look at those two options. So I imported 4 still images here from the NASA JPL site. I can select all 4 and drag them to my timeline, and they will show up in order. They also show up for that default 5 seconds that I talked about in the text video. Again, you can change that if you're doing this a lot in your preferences. So we've got these 4 images here, and I'm actually just going to mute my audio track because I don't really want to hear them right now. And they're all quite large. And I could see that if I scroll over here. And keep scrolling and scrolling. These are all quite a bit bigger than my sequence size, which is the same as these videos. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to select all 4 of them. I'm going to right click. And I'm going to tell them to set to frame size. I'm not going to scale them, I'm going to set them, because scaling will throw out some pixels. So I'm just going to set them to frame size. And I'm going to hide my video layer, my V1 layer, excuse me, where my actual video clips are, so I can just focus on these stills for now. So these have some letterboxing, and we will talk about adjusting these in another video, but let's get back to our speed and duration. I'm going to select those 4, right or control click, go back to speed duration. So there's no percentage because these don't have their own timelines, they're just still images. So if I wanted them all to go for about 2 seconds, I can change that to 1 second 29 frames, which is essentially 2 seconds. So even though we had that box checked, we're still getting this odd gap here. And this, I'm not quite sure what it's about because I've done this demo a few times and now it's showing up with these 4 pictures. So it is what it is. Select those 2, move them down. And there we've got our 4 pictures, and they're each going to run for 2 seconds. So the other thing speed and duration can do is the reverse option. So this is always a little bit odd on clips with spoken audio. But I'm going to open up my Writers 2 file because it's already got a little in and out. I'll grab that and move it just down to my timeline so we can play with it. Right click, go to speed duration. So I'm just going to click reverse speed. And then we can see it's a -100. So let's play that, see how weird that looks, although I am going to unmute and show those layers.
It's good.
Well, that was fun. So as you can guess, that's usually a little bit more useful if you're not using the connected audio, assuming that audio has dialogue in it.